3 days. That's what's left before we take my son to college. And this week, of all weeks, our roof is being redone. It was scheduled for weeks ago, and it just happens this week. 2 days of 13-hour work days, hammering, nonstop noise, minus a 2-hour break in the middle of the day. And actually, that is why I am here, undone and everything, because I'm taking advantage of the silence. So in the midst of the roof stuff going on, of course, my dog has not been happy, and he's been barking through most of it because honestly, neither my son nor I have the headspace this week to work on training him to be quiet. And the roofers were supposed to come weeks ago, but there's something almost fitting about this too. The house literally being torn apart and rebuilt while we kind of are too, with my son going off. And to add to it, we found out this week that move-in day is actually a day later than we thought. It lands on the same day we fly out. Thankfully, there's still enough time to get him moved in, and then it leaves a full day for us to do other orientation stuff and get him settled. But still, it was one more thing shifting under us right when I thought I had this week figured out. I mean, really, we do all the planning, all the checklists, all the logistics, and I just think that this is what a life transition does. It doesn't really care how ready your list is. It's just going to happen the way it's going to happen. So this week, I've kind of noticed that chaos is happening in two different ways. There's the physical chaos, the roof, the noise, the stuff everywhere outside the house from the roof. And then there's the mental chaos, the stuff going on in my head, the constant weighing of what needs my attention and what doesn't. And then in the middle of both, trying to hold on to something that grounds me enough to deal with these chaoses. So the physical chaos showed up in my son's room. I originally thought I'd clean out his chaotic feeling room over the summer, get ahead of it. Then I thought maybe I'll do it after he leaves. That would be kind of cathartic, some sort of ritual for myself, getting rid of his old toys and all the things that used to be important. But when it came down to it, I decided something different. I wanted to clear it out with him while he was still here, still a part of it. And I'm really glad I did, because there's something about clearing out physical space that's also clearing out space to think, to see what actually matters enough to pack instead of just cramming in everything because it's just been in his room here, so it should just go in his room over there. Literally making room. And somehow that made it easier to see metaphorically what we were actually doing with our time. The question of what actually needs my attention and what doesn't has been showing up in more than just his room though. There's also kind of been this constant quiet tug in my mind, feeling like I need to tell him something and then letting him figure it out himself. But underneath that tug is a real fear that if I stop reminding him, something important is going to fall through the cracks. I mean, these college prep lists are for real. So I realized though, instead of nagging him or just quietly doing it myself, I started saying something specific. Okay, honey, this needs to get done. Can you do it, or do you want me to? Because I don't want to nag you and I don't want to just do things for you, but I'm here to help. If you say, Mom, I need help with this, can you help me? Then I will, but you need to ask. I realized all this sort of mental chaos about nagging him and telling him, or rather just doing it myself, was kind of not really helping him, especially if it wasn't needed or asked for. I mean, how much do we as moms do that sort of thing, right? It's just ridiculous, just mentally thinking about all the things. And this conversation with him, maybe it's not going to fix everything, because I got to tell you, when he says he's got it, I'm not always so convinced. But at least it's given both of us something clearer than the old pattern, me hovering, both of us getting annoyed when it's not actually necessary. And that's part of what's making this mental chaos survivable this week. having that kind of clarity with him is how I actually know what's mine to worry about right now and what isn't, which matters a lot in a week where I don't have the bandwidth to fight for everything on this list when, of course, there's a bunch of things I have added to it that might be unnecessary. So at some point yesterday, with all the frustration of the noise, my son and I just kind of gave into it. He packed a few things. I got a few things done for work, way less than I wanted to. And then we just sat down and watched a movie together. And once we were just watching the movie, even with the roof noise in the background, I think we both relaxed and were relieved to not be forcing a whole list to happen on schedule. But I gotta say, today's different though. I knew the noise was coming, another full day of it, except for right now. So I did my morning pages and went for a walk, slower than usual since it's already 80 degrees before 9 a.m. But I did it. And I also decided to take the dog to daycare today, even though he'll be at the sitters in 2 days while we're gone taking my son to college. But at least there was one less thing making noise through the house for both of us. And then later I decided we're going to go to Panera. It's a place he likes. And most years before starting school, I take both my kids there to sort of plan out what they want the year to look like, to feel like. I didn't get that chance to do that with my daughter this year since her school started earlier than we expected, but I got to do it with my son. And that was really nice. We took a cute little selfie. And that's really what all this comes down to. In between all of it, we've been intentional about all the last. This is the last time we'll do this specific ordinary thing before everything changes. I don't think I would have noticed all these little moments as much as in years past, but I'm noticing them now, and I've been trying to practice something different this time. Instead of managing my emotions or moving past them efficiently so I can get through the to-do list, I've been just letting myself be in them, let the tears come if they come, not push through it for the sake of being productive. And it's not easy in the middle of packing and drop-off logistics and a roof falling apart above us, literally. But I think that's actually the point. Real life, and certainly life transitions, don't pause for you to feel your feelings on schedule. You just have to let it be messy and feel it anyway in the middle of the mess. I don't really have some sort of conclusion for this video. I'm still very much in it, as you can see. But I wanted you to be in it with me. So this is the way I am. And one more thing, if you've been with me these last few months, you know I also have a book coming out. 2.5 weeks after we drop my son at college. Launching a kid and a book at the same time is not for the faint of heart. Trying to balance all the unknown, the excitement, the anxiety of it all. Checking off a to-do list for college prep and checking off a to-do list for a book launch, all while trying to stay in the moment and not get overwhelmed by the emotions or rush to get it all over with. But I am really excited to share this book with you. I really do think the timing is perfect for you and for me. It's called Your Life Transition Toolkit, How to Weather What Comes and Embrace What's Next. It'll be out soon enough, but in the meantime, I'd love for you to join my waitlist so I can tell you exactly where to buy it the moment it's ready. I'd love for you to join my waitlist so that you know exactly where to buy it when it comes out. Go to claramay.com/book. And in the meantime, Mama, you got this. Hang in there, and I'll see you on the other side.